It's Chris from LaserLemming.com, and today I have some international news for people, outside of the U.S. The United States is a big part of the gaming culture, but believe it or not, there are other countries out there. They may not be as good or as big or as populous or as fat, but there are other countries out in the world that do play video games. And Ubisoft, or Ubisoft as many prefer to call them, I don't like that, so I'm going to call them Ubisoft, have decided to make the executive international call to not release their game, South Park: The Stick of Truth, in Israel. The game came out a week or so ago, and they already had some controversy because they decided to censor the game in Europe, at least on the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. I believe that the PC version wasn't censored. I don't know why they would keep one version uncensored and the other two censored, but that's where they decided to cut out a scene where it was, I think it had to do with abortion. But they've made the call that Israel will not be playing the South Park game, The Stick of Truth, because if you have followed the game at all, I haven't played it myself yet, but I did know about this. The game lets you become a different class. They have different classes because it's an RPG game, and they have like some standard classes, like wizard and elf, I believe. But they have the Jew class as well. People of Jewish descent, the Jew class, and they figured that people in Israel might get offended by that. There's also, I guess, Nazi cows and semi-offensive things, or depending on who you are, very offensive things. And if you're in Israel, you might be a little bit more prone to sensitivity about Nazis and cows. Oh, and, Jew classes. So some people are saying that, Ubisoft should kind of just balls it up, and I grabbed my balls there, I don't know if you can see, but I grabbed my balls when I said that. Ubisoft should just balls it up and release the game. Let people decide whether or not they like it, because South Park, the show, is supposedly still running in Israel. I don't know if they censor it. They might censor it. I mean, when you see South Park late at night on, one of those non-cable channels, it's censored. They get that TV-14 rating down. But it's still pretty funny. But they might censor it in Israel. I don't know. I'm not in Israel. I'm not watching South Park in Israel. I want to understand the jokes anyway. I have it kind of memorized. It doesn't matter. I'm going off track. But the fact that the show is still on, it's kind of weird that Ubisoft has decided not to release it at all in any form. I mean, they could maybe change the Jew class to something else, but then I'm sure they'd have to... It'd probably ruin a ton of jokes, and a South Park game is all about the jokes. So it's kind of a tricky situation. The fact that they censored the game in Europe in the first place kind of showed you where their mind was at. I feel like Ubisoft may have felt like they picked up a game that was kind of a high risk. But you know what? That's what it takes. You got to kind of push the envelope. Gaming is kind of seen too much as this children's only medium with a lot of people, and so whenever anything potentially offensive comes up, people just get their panties in a bunch and just go apeshit. But that's my thoughts. I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think that Ubisoft should have pretty much just said no, the game is not coming out in Israel at all? I know you might not even care about what Israel is playing, but this sort of thing matters because censorship kind of has a domino effect, as you could see, because they cut the game in Europe, and they're not releasing it at all in Israel. And countries like Germany and Australia, they don't get to play games all the time because of censorship. And who knows how this might eventually affect you. So I want to know your thoughts on it. Do you think that the censorship was the right thing? Do you think that Ubisoft should have spent the extra money and gone for maybe changing it a little bit? Or do you think they should have just released it as is? Do you think Israel is just would just have been a good sport about it and say, that's funny stuff, we don't care. Jew class it up, Nazi killing the cows, I don't care. I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Got a comedy channel, very funny stuff. You should subscribe to that too, or check out a video or two. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.